Okay. So I logged into Oracle Cloud Services. This is my left top corner menu, navigation menu. I click here. I could see users just right after the monitoring. So whether you click here the users or you click users over here, it is the same thing. Okay, here you can see I have created a user called as Samyapadi. I mean, I didn't create it as such. It was there set up along with this Oracle Cloud account. So that's the default administrator. And I've just created a sample user called as a bib spreader. That's all. Okay, now what is the reason I'm here? Before I do anything else, as you could see, look at this picture or look at this page, it is quite simple. If I want to add up another user, it is quite simple. I can go ahead and add first name, middle name, last name, email, alternate, mobile, work information. That's all. Okay. This is what I can do. Okay, but I don't want to do that here. I would like to, do it in a bulk manner or something. So before I would do anything else, let me first make you understand about the different console. Okay. Now, when in cloud.oracle.com, when you go to services, when you go to Compute Classic, you get a different menu. When you go to Database Classic, you get a different menu. Similar way, over here in user management, when you click on Identity Console, also you'll end up in a different page. So let me simply click on Identity Console. So this is a different console altogether. So that is nothing but called as Oracle Identity Cloud Services. Okay, this is nothing but called as Identity Cloud Services. Likewise, this is called as Oracle Database Cloud Services Portal. This is called as a Oracle Compute Classic Portal. Okay, it's taking some time. Let it come. And this is called as Oracle Identity Cloud Services. So if you come inside this Identity Cloud Services, you can see import, export. You can see this, recent, reset, remove, reset all passwords, etc., etc., etc. So these are all things you can see over here. Ah. So let me, this is your Compute Classic, this is your Database Cloud, so this is your Identity Cloud Services. So now if I want to add a user here, if I click on add, okay, so it is going to be go through multiple steps. So I can put a username, first name, last name, okay, email, everything I can put and I can proceed. That is fine. I can go ahead and create another user like this bib spreader or anything else. But the reason why I'm here is basically, I'm just going to go back. I'm going to click on an import button. So what does it mean by import? I want to do a bulk user administration. So usually when somebody does migrate to Oracle, they don't just create users one by one. In our on-premises, we have one Oracle database. We know at least 10 DBAs are supporting two managers from on-site, two managers from off-site. So 14 users we created by default. One is again for the functional head or one is for another, developer from functional. So 15, 16 users we are creating. Depending on the organizations, this may vary, this may range in a large number also. And usually, people with large numbers of databases and user bases usually migrate to Oracle clouds. So you would generally face that, whenever you're doing a cloud migration, you can expect to have a large number of users. So how do you go ahead and import them about it? So what Oracle says, there is a very simple method. You come to this identity console, click on this import button. Okay, here it says select a file to import by using the browse button. So basically what Oracle is expecting, it is expecting a comma separated value file. It is expecting a CSV file. So using this CSV file, it expects that you provide a list of usernames and it will upload the same thing. But how do you go ahead and upload the same things? So what is the format that you have to create a CSV file? So Oracle has given you a download sample file also. Okay, so when you click on download sample file, it will download one file for you. All you have to do is empty the data and you start filling up your new employee data in this. So you can see bulk import sample.zip file. I'll come inside this file. So here we have example for everything. Users, user accounts, groups, role membership, everything. So what we would be doing is we'll double click on this users. Okay, today we'll be doing only users. Maybe on Monday we will do the remaining things. Okay, so this is the file. If you see, there is a user ID is there. There is a last name, first name, middle name. There is a lot of information is given: display, nickname, profile, title, user type, locally, preferred, time zone. Every lot of things is there. If you could see, so it is the whole employee database. Okay, it's almost 30 to 32 values that it is accepting. So what you have to do is either you collect all the information for all your employees and then you can go ahead and upload, or else you can create another sheet. In that sheet, what you can do is you can put only this much of information. For example, this much: user ID, name, first name, middle name, display name, nickname. That's fine. You don't put title or anything, so it is also fine. So we'll create another CSV file which is extracted out of this file. We will create it with the minimum set of values and we will try to upload. For the same example, on I've created a file called as a users1.csv. So if you want to make a note, or anyways this video is getting recorded, it is up to you. There are few things, few values which is very mandatory. Okay, this honorific is not mandatory, but they were there. So remaining these two columns, everything else is mandatory. If you skip either one of them, especially the work email or first name or last name or user ID, okay, or display name, okay, this middleware is also not compulsory. Okay, so these five things are compulsory. So you can create Excel with these five things and you can save it as a comma separated value. Okay, you just create as a minimal as this much only. The names, you put the emails, that's all. So once this is done, we can browse this particular file and see if the users has been imported or not. Browse this file, users1.csv, click on import button. It will tell you that job ID has been submitted. You will receive an email notification. Okay, forget about the notification. Again, click on this job ID to view the job status. So the moment I'm clicking on this, it tells me, yes, your job is completed successfully. A job for importing users into Oracle Identity Cloud Services. 100% complete, 4 total users, 4 users imported, 0 users failed to import. Okay. Now I'm just going to do a little changes. Okay. Okay, I just added a couple of more things. And let me remove this email ID for this one. And let me save this file. Okay, here you can see I have not given an email ID. Okay, and I have added up one more line, and let me try to import it. I already kept the four existing entries also. So we have about 6 rows, and we will see what is the behavior of this import. Okay, so this job is explicitly, if you want to see, you can come down to this dashboard and jobs. Okay, but remember, this comes only in the identity cloud services. Huh? If you here, you will click the dashboard. Here, you come back to the Oracle Identity Cloud Services. Okay, don't get panic with this console, like what it is as something new thing has came up. Okay, so this is telling the number of users you have, number of password resets. Okay, logins, groups, all that stuff is there. So over here only you can find something called as a job. So this is where it says it is successful, completed with errors, like that. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the users. Okay, now you can see here we got all the users present here. Okay, we had 6 more users added. Okay, that is fine. Now I'm trying to import few more users. I'm selecting the same file again, clicking on import. Okay, this is completed. The result is out on the job. Okay, 5 users imported, users failed to import. Okay. So see what it is telling. Update succeeded, creation succeeded, update succeeded, creation failed. So email is a mandatory fail. So as I told you, if you have either of these fields missing, excuse me. Okay, so email ID is a mandatory field. If either one of these fields is missing out of these 5 or 6 which I have mentioned, basically your creation is failed. And new users are basically created. So you can see, washer mode is a new user got created, and existing users is identified, and that simply says, update is succeeded. Okay, so this is the standard behavior of creating the users. Now we saw the jobs. We can go back to users. Now here you can see all the users has been created. Now, if there is a particular user, you want to remove or reset password, here you can use this menu on the right side. Okay, since I have created on the Salivaser user, it has opened it. Let me open this user. Okay. Now there is something more information to fill. So if you see the seeded Oracle thing, you will have plenty of information that you can upload, or you can also go ahead and manually fill it. It is up to you. Okay. Now when we come to the access part, okay, so it has only OCI integration. Okay, we can go ahead and give multiple accesses. Okay, but yes, on accesses and everything else, we will talk a little later. Once we get a little more familiarized, we'll talk about groups and roles. Okay, that would help you more understanding. So let us have this users created. Let us try to have some users deleted. Okay, let me try to delete a couple of users also. That's quite simple.
Yeah, hi Soumya.
Yeah,
I have a question.
tell me.
Can you hear me clearly?
Yeah, absolutely clear. Tell me.
Okay. So, all these users which we have created are cloud users, or FND users, where these user details are recorded in the FND users table. How?
No. See, it has no integrations to this Oracle e-business suite as of now. Okay.
Okay, you mean to
No,
say all these are cloud users, right?
absolutely. These are all cloud users. They can have the privileges to manage your cloud only. Okay.
Okay, I mean whatever the cloud URL what we are using, I mean using now,
Right,
they can have access to those cloud
right,
services.
right, right. So in this cloud.oracle.com, okay, cloud.oracle.com, when I'm clicking on it, I'm proceeding with signing in. I'm giving my account name as Datanza01, then click on next. So the next page, when it is asking for the username and password, I used to give my admin or default username which I have used, like training at datanza.com. So instead of this, now you can using login using this. For example, there is a username called as a Prasad. So you can use it using your user ID, and you can perform only the task that is relevant to you. For example, we have a Java administrator. I have told, like, for another 2 months you would be developing Java applications. So as many as Java instances you would need, up to 50 instances, you can go ahead and create.
Okay, I mean, are we demonstrating that with any particular logging to any particular user or
Yes, yes,
anything?
definitely, definitely, we will do that. So we will
Yeah.
assign a particular user with some DBaaS administrator rule. We would assign some user with OCI administrator rule. Okay, we would assign some user which will have this identity cloud services, role. So one user would be able to manage all the administration of this identity management. Okay, another user can have manage only the database part. Or for example, if I am a DBA, I would certainly love to have a OCI admin and DBaaS administrator as a very minimum. DBaaS administrator and OCI admin. So if I will have these two, administrator accounts, then I'm good to create any database resources throughout the cloud. So that gives me the superpower in cloud.
Okay. Okay. Perfect.
Okay.
Fine.
Now it's not for Prasant coming for everybody back. There is a second way. Okay, there is a second way. This is not just the cloud users specific to this portal only. Okay, try to understand this. This is a little complex, thing that we will not be able to demonstrate. But yes, it is possible and it can be walked around. What happens is there are two different sources that you can get users to your cloud. The first sources is you import your users. You got it. That's pretty simple. Second source is you can use your LDAP to also import it. So what does it mean in your lightweight directory access protocol or your internet directory if you're using a one like Active Directory or Oracle Sun Identity Management? If you're using either of these things, LDAP or Microsoft AD, from there also you can import users to Oracle. So what I'm trying to say is this is your cloud box. Okay. This is your cloud box. Now this is your Active Directory, Microsoft Active Directory. Now in cloud you can create users manually, that is fine, or else you can have your users loaded from Active Directory. Now the significance what I'm trying to say is you also do have a e-business suite. Now if your e-business suite is integrated with SSO and OID, okay, so you can choose the provisioning either between AD to OID or OID to AD. If anybody didn't understand the statement, do let me know. AD to OID and OID to AD. Has anybody worked on this? SSO?
No, no, I, I didn't. I
Okay,
didn't. So we share.
okay, okay. So guys, listen. Whenever we have Oracle e-business suite, okay, we have some databases for that. Okay. Now, apart from Oracle e-business suite database, it is also possible that with your Microsoft Active Directory, we can have another piece of software that is called as a SSO and OID. Okay. Single sign-on application plus it needs a database called as OID. Okay. That is called as Oracle Internet Directory. So this piece of box is a separate software. Nowadays, it is called as Oracle Access Manager Also, Oracle Identity Management also it is called. It has one component called as Oracle Access Manager. So what will happen? Listen to this very carefully. Active is nothing but your Windows Active Directory server, where in your organization all the users are present. All the users, okay, including your staff, PM, developer, engineer, manager, boss, everybody. That is the username and password you use to log into your laptop also. That is the username password you use to log into all the company related portals also. So in company you have 50 to 100 portals. How it is possible that all the portals are using the same username and password? Your area people is also using the same. You go ahead and raise a request for your what you say, for international phone or Cisco phone, everything also it uses the same Windows connection. So at some sort of point of view, your all applications are integrated with AD. So when all applications are integrated, usually your EBS is also integrated with AD, Active Directory. So major customers they integrate their Oracle e-business suite with Active Directory. So what will happen? How is this integration happens? Using SSO and OID. So there is a software called a single sign-on, and there is a directory called as Oracle Internet Directory. This directory is nothing but it's again a small Oracle database only. So this is called as a OID. So when you set up this OID, okay, when you set up this OID, now this OID, so users are created at one place in your organization. So when an organization joins one employee, the user would either first create an Oracle HR or SAP HR or PeopleSoft HRMS, or it may get created in Active Directory. And then the user is synchronized with your Oracle e-business suite. So when you log into your organization using e-business suite, you can file your time sheets, time entries. So as an end user, we use the Oracle e-business suite, right, for my doing leave management or anything like that. So how is your username gets created in EBS? So usually what happens whenever a user is logged into the company, his user ID is created with the ID. From Active Directory, the user ID is flown to the EBS. So flown to the EBS is nothing but the user ID gets created in EBS as well as one entry is made to your Oracle Internet Directory. So this provisioning is called as a ED2 OID provisioning. Okay. So 82 ID. So what Oracle says, the same way you can also provision the users from AD to cloud. So if you are provisioning one user called as a Prasant from AD to Oracle e-business suite and an FND users, okay, this Prasant user is there. So this Prasant user is there in FND users. This user is present in OID. This user is present in the Active Directory. Now, when it is integrated with cloud, this is also present with cloud. Just give me a second. He's in washroom. Okay. So there is no relation between the user person that is present inside your FND users or the user that is present inside your cloud. So basically, everybody is getting the users from your Active Directory. Okay. So in EBS, you can create a user manually. You can get the user synchronized from an Active Directory also. Okay, so similar way, it is also possible you can have your LDAP users or Active Directory users imported to Oracle Cloud. So down the line, it is possible you will have one user, Venu or Prasant or Anji or Suresh, anything, or Sam. It is either present in your cloud AD as well as in your EBS, and of course in your OID also. But it has no relations having you in FND users and having you in Oracle Cloud. Okay. Any confusions on this? I was just trying to mention, how it is possible you can integrate your cloud with Active Directory users as well.
Soumya, one doubt.
Tell me.
Is there any familiarity like Cloud Classic, Oracle Identity? This
Oracle Cloud Infrastructure and Oracle Classic.
no, not that
Uh-huh.
Cloud. access manager and this identity manager.
See, the Oracle Identity and SSO, which I spoke about, it has nothing to do with this identity console.
Okay.
Okay, that is a separate set of software, like how you put in Oracle e-business suite, how you put Oracle Enterprise Manager, it has a separate console altogether. So similar way for managing SSO and AD also, you will have a separate SSO administration URL. Okay, it will have its own separate application, separate software, everything would be separate. Okay, like your Enterprise Manager or like your WebLogic, like that.
Okay, but in OCI, identity access management is there, right?
Huh.
Is it familiar to this OID and all?
No, that is what I said. See, OID, SSOID is meant for that EBS and other Oracle related products. Okay. From that OID, you're not uploading. Okay.
Yeah.
If you're using Active Directory, you will upload from that Active Directory. It is possible. Okay. But in some companies, see, Oracle has got various products. Okay. Oracle has got, Oracle Access Manager, Identity Manager, Oracle Identity Management as well. So in Oracle Identity Management, it is possible that you can use an Oracle Internet Directory instead of Active Directory. It is possible. Okay, in Oracle Access Manager, it is you use existing e-business suite with existing Oracle Internet Directory, and it has its own database. So what I'm trying to say, Oracle Identity Management and Access Manager both plays a different part of roles. They are both are different type of set of softwares. But the Cloud Identity Console is what we are seeing is something different from what we are talking right now. So those are meant only for the organize an ABS and ERP kind of stuff. We are
Okay.
not integrating that with this cloud.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, so fine, we did added some users, and it is also possible that if we have LDAP or like Active Directory or Sun Identity Management or Oracle Identity Management, it is possible we can go ahead and get them linked up. And okay, or else it is a very simple. You export users from there, you import users here using the Excel and using the format that we already have. So that is how simple as it is. So there is no problem with that. Okay, now we are done with the users. Now, before we start anything else, we will log into the console or the instances which we created, and we will try to do some kind of backups. Okay. In order to take the database backup, we would have a couple of utilities. One is like backup underscore API.
Soumya, just before that, do we have any expiry to our private keys that we generate? Is it so?
No, no.
Because when I tried to log in again yesterday and today as well, it is showing me that your server refused our key as it is not anymore authorized.
No, there must have something wrong.
Okay.
The private key must have been edited, or maybe some changes to, or while doing some R&D to that public key, some issue could have been happened.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll check later then. I'll check later.
Try to regenerate the key again, then try to log in.
Sure, done.
That you can do. Certainly, you regenerate a key, make a private and public key, and go to that Compute Classic, go to SSH access menu, and attach the new public key. And using that new private key, try to log in. Okay, that is possible. You try it. If it doesn't work out, we will sit on Sunday, not a problem. Is that all right?
Go ahead.
Sure. There are two utilities in general what we are going to use it for taking backups and restore. One is so called as a backup underscore API. Okay. Usually that is invoked from root user. And another one is basically called as a rack CLI. Okay. That is usually invoked from the OPC. Okay. I don't think so it is OPC. It is also root user. Let me just, I'll confirm back on this. This is also root user. Okay, this rack CLI is used for real application cluster databases. This is used for your single instance databases. Okay, backup underscore API from root user, rack CLI from root user, backup underscore API used for single instance DB, and this one is also used for rack. There is another utility that we all certainly know is basically EM console. But yeah, we did not got hold of this EM console. We are yet to work on that EM console. We will see that. So it is also possible we do it from EM console. Second method is backup underscore API for single databases, rack CLI for your single instance databases. There is also another utility which is separate from all these backup utilities that is called as a DBaaS CLI. Okay. So this all utilities you can find inside where apt Oracle and utility named folder. Inside that you will find all these utilities. So if it is a DBaaS CLI, then you can find it from something like a folder like this. It would be something like a DBaaS CLI. So it would be like that. Okay, so if it is rack CLI, you would find it inside the rack CLI folder. If it is backup underscore API, you would find it inside that. So all this central location for all the softwares are var apt Oracle. You access them using root user for both rack and single instance databases. Okay, but before we go ahead and create, there is one option that Oracle gives us is basically to create a backup, automated backup configuration. So automated backup is configuration is nothing but automated backup. Okay, at the time of creating your database deployment. At the time of creating the database deployment. Now you have to understand this. What is the default behavior or default things? When you create the database instance from here, and you set up the automatic backup over here. Okay. Or what is the retention period for that? For example, I'm giving DBCS, BK01, something like that. DBCS BKP01. Okay, testing of backup and restore. Okay, let me not give some tag. Let me put some tag also. Backup instance. Sorry, I cannot use spaces. I have to use a hyphen instead. Okay. No, it is fine. All the options is fine. Pretty okay. I'm clicking on next. See, what I was trying to show you here is you can see here, there is two things is here in backup destination. One is both cloud storage and local storage. Second option is a cloud storage only. Third option is a none only. Okay, backup cloud storage and local storage. Cloud storage only and none only. So we have chosen the option as a none actually. Okay, because if you do so, we will have to create a cloud storage container also. So we will talk about the cloud storage containers later. So we would need a username password for cloud storage container as well. So we did not discuss about this cloud storage yet. So we did put onto none only. So what Oracle says, if you put both cloud and okay, if you say both cloud storage and local, okay, so there is what will happen 30 days 30 days of backup will stay in local storage. That's the retention period. Recent 7 days of backup will stay in cloud. Recent 7 days of backup will stay in the cloud storage manager. Rest everything will get recycled. Okay, first in last in what is that? First in first out. FIFO algorithm. The one gets older, that gets aged out basically. So likewise it will get, and it would be completely managed by automatically. For in order to do this also, it uses cron entries, and cron entries also generated by of its own. Tell me.
No, go ahead.
This includes only backup pieces, or this includes the read log files also?
This includes your incremental level 1 on a daily basis and level 0 for once in a week. So this is what is covered. So in your incremental level, if your archive logs is included, that is also taken.
Okay, go ahead. Thank you.
Okay, so when you use this local thing, so basically the same thing happens. Okay, the same thing happens, but you don't have this recent 7 days of backup in cloud and the remaining in the storage. So this thing doesn't happen. So it's only 30 days of backup that stays in your storage. That's fine. The rest everything is same as it is. Okay. So it is only the option for cloud storage. Sorry, it is not 30 days. It's only the last 7 days of backup. Sorry. 7 days of backup will stay in the cloud storage. That's all. Nothing would be stored on the local. Okay. So only the 7 days of backup will be there in the cloud storage. It will contain the most recent full backup and last 5-6 days of your incremental backup. So that is all it is going to hold.
So by default, the cron's job also will be for 7 days to recycle, is it?
Yes. So daily for incremental backups and weekly for the level zeros. That would be done. Okay. So this is what we call is the automatic backup configuration. Okay, this automatic backup configuration options you get while creating a database. Okay, while creating a database, you get all these things while creating a database from the wizard. Now, since we have chosen an option none, now we have to go through a couple of more processes to understand this. What is that process? There is a command called as a bkup underscore API, bkup underscore API. Now, using this backup API command, what we can do is, I have chalked out few simple comments that I will run through. We will see the output. We will see how familiar we get through that. Okay, tomorrow accordingly, we will start up with the backup and recovery. So these are the few basic things what we understood, and few comments that I have chalked out is basically here. As I told you, this is the location, backup underscore API. Okay. So let me change the font a little bit. If anybody is feeling that I'm going very slow, I can see, I can accommodate.
Font is okay. Someone.
Okay. Okay, it is okay.
It's okay.
Okay. Okay, if anybody is feeling that I'm running the class very slow, you can let me know. I can definitely run it very fast. But I do this kind of classes very rare. So I go slowly, everything. Okay, so I am saying a duplicate session. This instance gets inactive immediately. Okay. So how can I log in? I can say sudo -s, enter, cd where opt oracle. So here you can see you have got most of the things. You have got Golden Gate, DBaaS API, DBaaS CLI, Exapatch utility, InfiniBand backup, ODG, OREX. So ideally, all these utilities we are not supposed to use backup API. Okay, so what they have done, they have created a central folder. They used to put all the softwares into any cloud machine that you create, so that either of these utilities can be used by us or to do the desired task. So this utilities is nothing but they used something called as a REST API application program interface. Using that API, they connect to the database and they do the required stuff, whether it is backup or mastering or whatever it is. So anyways, REST API we are supposed to understand in the last class, not now. So we'll talk about the REST APIs later. Now we will talk about the utilities that is available to us to make use of. Now I will go to cd space backup underscore API. So here you can see there is also some library files, some program files, and backup underscore API command is also there. So what we can do is we can run this backup underscore API command and it will take some values. For example, okay. So when I just simply enter backup underscore API, you can see choose an action to perform. So it says simply backup stat, backup CHG CFG change configurations. Okay, backup CHK CSB CFG check configurations, backup underscore delete. We can delete it. We can set some config. We can get some config, and we can list the backups. We can see backup status. We can see recovery status. So some update wallet, so some comments is there. So we would see at least more than 50% of the comments we are going to make use of it. But before we use any of this comment, we would need to understand how does this works. Okay, what is the basic requirement of taking a RMAN backup for any database? We need that the database to be in archive log mode.
Yes.
Okay, if I will see archive log list. So it is all archive log mode. So by default, Oracle no more creates no archive log databases in cloud. It's all archive log. Okay, fine. I'll come back to root. Now how to take the backup? I would say backup underscore API. Okay. Backup underscore API. And I would simply say backup underscore start. BKUP underscore start. That's all. That's how it takes the backup. That's how the backup is triggered. That's how the backup is started. Let me send. It is running into some errors. Try to understand what is this error. DBaaS backup API version. Okay. It has created a backup API log file. Okay. This is the standard log location. This is where every log messages of the backup API tool is logged in. So it will have a long history also. Backups are not configured on this DB instance. Configure the backup and try again. So Yeah,
We have selected none in the backup. That is why it is showing.
exactly. So though the database is configured with archive log list also, but in database deployment wizard, we have configured the database not to take a backup. So the settings, the cloud settings for the database has been set to none, or it is not configured. So this is what we have to configure. But before we go ahead and configure, we would need to understand how we configure or how we retrieve the status. Okay. So we did a backup stat, it says it is not configured. So what is the command we can use to get the configuration? So we can say configure underscore status. Okay, I'll give you this output. Okay, right away after the class, I'll give you this output. So I'm saying backup underscore API. Instead of backup underscore start, I'm saying configure underscore status. So what is the status of the configuration? So here it is saying log file it is generated. This system is not registered configure backup. It is clean. Okay, it is saying it is clean. So what does it mean? We have to now configure it. So how do we configure it? So what are the configuration details? So we have to get the configuration and we have to set the configuration. So simply what we can do is, that is we can do like this. We can do backup underscore API underscore get config. So before I run this command, let me take a copy paste of what things we did. Okay, we did a backup stat, we got error. Now we check the status, we say it is clean. Fine, it's just two commands only, we did nothing much. Okay, now we are running the third command, get config. Okay, so what it is saying, if you could see here, very simple example. If you see get config, so it created two files here. One is a log file, one is a .cfg file it created. Okay, one is a log file, one is a .cfg file it has created. Sorry. Sorry. Okay, now this log file usually is nothing but the same log file that has been populated by all the comments. Okay, if you open this file also, you will see a huge amount of this data. Sorry. Okay. Now it has created a configuration file. Now let us see that configuration file. Now let us see this configuration file. Usually it is created in backup API TMPL location. Usually it is started with backup underscore instance name hyphen timestamp dot ch. It is also possible that you can give some of your phone names or if you want hyphen file name. Okay, you can give something like this. Okay, hyphen file equals to, you can give your own file. Hyphen file equals to, you can give that path, you can give /tmp, or anything is up to you basically. OCL underscore config.cfg. So it says temp OSL config.cfg got created. Okay, so this is also possible. You give some name. If you don't give a name, a default will be created. If you give a name, a custom one will get created. Let me paste it here. Okay, so this configuration file and this configuration file is supposed to contain the backup settings which we can change it. Okay, ideally this we can change it. Okay, so this is the file you can see. If you all can see my screen, this is what is there. Okay, this thing looks quite simple. It says it has got about 8 to 10 parameters. Backup cron entry Enable automatic backup can be set to yes or not. It is set to yes. Enable backup of config files. It is set to no. We will discuss tomorrow what config files can be backed up. It is possible that you can specify backups underscore cfg files equals to yes, and there is a file. On that file, we can list the data, the configuration files that you want to backup. For example, your wallet files, your init.ora, maybe your control files. So any configuration files from the Oracle home that you can certainly choose to back up. If we want that to happen, we are going to say backup underscore config equals to yes. But currently we are going to say no. That demo we will see tomorrow. Okay, backup underscore daily time is set 23:15. Backup underscore disk equals to no. Backup disk recovery window. So that is the 7 days of retention time period. Recovery window 7 days. Okay, that is also 7 days. Now it says OSS configuration. Okay, backup to OSS container. Okay, so Oracle, shared storage container. It can backup OSS is also says no. Backup. So if you change this backup underscore OSS equals to yes, then only the following values are applicable. Otherwise, it is not. If you're keeping it as no, so you're not using backup underscore OSS volume to the cloud storage volume, then the following uses are not for you. Following options, not users. The following options are not for you. So backup underscore OSS is yes, then only you are going to say what is the URL of your storage, what is the username and password of your storage. All that piece of information you have to supply below. So that information is basically needed to be given into this file. So what we can do is, this is nothing but the same information is also present in this config file, which is created with the default timestamp also. It is also the same information. So here you can see currently the backup underscore disk is no, backup underscore OSS is also no. Okay, so since these two values are set to no, basically, nothing is being configured. So if we go ahead and change this value, or let me change this value in the /tmp location. Okay. Backup OSS config file, I'm saying no only. Backup to disk only, I'm saying yes. Okay, and I did the change in this /tmpOSL config file. I have changed to backup underscore disk equals to yes. Only this is the only change I have done, nothing else. Okay, so now what I have to do is I have to set this configure. Like how did we got the config back? Similar way we have to set this configuration. So in order to set the configuration, we are going to use the same command. Instead of get the value set. Okay, backup underscore API set config file equals to this is the file. Okay, an error, the file must have 0600 permission. Current permission is 644. Change the permission and try again. Let us see. Okay, it is in /tmp, right? So that is why. Okay, 600 only, right? Please double check the parameters in the config file. So if I'll try to open the log file, so this is where some error is happening. Okay, so this is where the error is coming up. Okay, we will fix this error later onwards. So once we set this command, then again we have to run configure underscore status. At the end, we have to, once the set is done, we have to run this configure underscore status. Then we can go ahead and say backup underscore stat. Okay, so we are using this bkp underscore API only for single instance database, and we are going to use rack CLI for a rack instance. Okay, there is also some transparent data encryption requirement. Usually, any backups that is happening to the cloud storage is by default transparent data encryption is done. Okay, TD is configured over there. Okay, for standard edition only, if the backup is happening to local storage, then it is possible to have the backups unencrypted. Otherwise, all backups and everywhere is in Oracle Cloud is almost encrypted. Okay. So it is also possible that encryption can be a prerequisite for this backup error to overcome. So that is something I'll check back little later part on today. So meanwhile, I'll give you this backup underscore API, this text file what I have generated, and you just get a little bit familiarity. We will start with the backup recovery mostly by tomorrow. Any yeah, tell me.
Yes, sir. Whatever exercise that we did now with backup configuration, where does it getting affected? Is it also getting affected to the EM? I mean, what do you say? Cloud portal as well, where we have selected while creating, we have selected none as the option, right? So when we log in again to the cloud portal, will it show this cloud storage or both?
So that option would come only while creating the database deployment, this backup recovery configuration. Okay, this is not coming up after creation. So after the database is created, okay, you have to click here. Okay, so here you can see the backup destination it is showing is a none. So this is where it is going to reflect the changes.
Okay. So if we successfully configure it, then it's getting changed to whichever way we.
Yes. Okay, it will change that way only. Okay. Now on.
And at the host level, where all it gets changed, any status that we get
So
or.
one would be the cron entries, and the remaining settings are kept inside this WAG Oracle backup API folder only. See, this backup underscore API, it is a small application program interface. This is a small program developed on top of REST APIs. So it has couple of instructions set. So it does nothing but it does logs into RMAN only, and it logs into Cloud Portal also to sync the information between this cloud portal and the RMAN database information. So this API does logs into both the places, and it keeps all the settings informations inside this backup API folder. Okay, and of course it is stored in our control file, but in control file you don't get this cloud information. You get only the backup information, when and how it is completed. That's all.
Okay. So here in this case, we just need to configure this rather than going to, I mean, in Arman, right? We need to configure catalog database. All.
So you don't have to go to